It is Monday and we are back from our trip. Still taking the day off of work though, and kids are having screen time and nap time. So we are just going out for an easy run. Now, I thought about starting 5K training this week, and that's still the plan. However, I got food poisoning on the last night of our trip, and it kind of took me out a little bit. So we've had kind of an unlucky streak of health just trying to get into 5K training. So we'll see. We'll just have to see how we feel and play it by ear. Also, I am starting in office, starting tomorrow with my current job. So we've got a 3-day-a-week in office policy now. And that's going to be really interesting to see how, I'm able to balance everything. So we've got some difficulties, some shifting that's probably going to have to happen. Some adjustments, we'll call them that. But all in all, had a really good vacation. Really good 4 days away. And I'm happy to be back. Ready to be back. Some of my recovery was taken out just from food poisoning. But, it is what it is. All right, we're about 3-ish miles in and we're feeling good. My heart rate is through the roof though. And you can hear I'm speaking totally fine. I'm not out of breath, but I am having to catch my breath just a little bit. The nose is fine, so heart and lungs feel fine. The issue here is a combination of things. Overall fatigue from travel the day before, having food poisoning less than 24 hours ago, and also just the heat. So I'll tell you what though, I ran on the treadmill twice in Mexico and their gym did not have fans going. And so I was sweating buckets, absolute buckets, because it was 90 something degrees and crazy humidity. And as someone who lives at altitude, I will say humidity, for me at least, 10 times worse than altitude, just saying. Tuesday morning, it is about 6:15. We're about to go for our run. We're gonna hit 800 meter fast, 800 meter float. My body feels okay. I'm pretty tired, but if you watched my video yesterday, I can't remember how much detail I went into it, but Mexico was amazing. It was great to get some time away. Hopefully I feel good. If not, we'll just probably do the tempo, but modify it just to be a little bit slower or do faster, shorter reps. So we'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear, but going into the office today. So return to office or to a hybrid policy is live for my company now. And I live, 10 minutes from an office. So I wasn't given an exemption. I do have to go in. I've spoken at lengths about how remote work has really helped me, not just with my fitness, but obviously with my work-life balance, with, content, with my mental health. And so I'm pretty nervous about this. The last time I worked in an office more than 3 days a week, or more than 2 days a week, really any required days a week, I guess I should say, was back in 2020, right when kind of everything went down. And so when we all got told to go home for what was supposed to be 2 weeks, I thought I'd be back in 2 weeks. It was a tough adjustment to work from home. And then I started to kind of understand the benefits of it and, haven't gone back since, to the point where I was actively looking for jobs or at jobs specifically with those requirements. And when I was hired by this company, that was one of the criteria, was that it would be considered full remote. So, first world problems, totally understand. I'm grateful to have a job, grateful to be able to provide for my family. We have a really blessed life, but it is something that my mental health night and day difference when
I work from home versus when I work in an office, just being in literal close proximity to the family, being able to help out throughout the day, you know, in between meetings and stuff was really big for us. So fingers crossed, everything will be fine. My mental health, again, being in a better place, I think I can manage things better now than before. I'm better equipped, let's say. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. So a couple days a week I'll be in the office. Today's the first time this week, and we'll see how it goes. There is a gym there. It's actually a fairly nice gym, and so I'll try and get like maybe a couple of clips, because I do plan on lifting this afternoon there. But anyway, we got to get moving and get this workout in and then go into work. So let's get it.
Whew, all right, we're on our cool down. We held the paces, but it was difficult today. Still encouraging though, that even on a bad day, I could hit the paces I want. Fueling, precision fuel, I got the 90-gram pouch. Super convenient, because I just got one, it's got the screw top. So just on my float intervals, opened it up, took like a swig, put it back in my pocket. And I'm wearing the WOLACO tights, so the pocket sits tight, right? Tight against my leg, so no bouncing, no worries there. But honestly, so this workout is gonna come in just under, or just over an hour probably, with warm up and cool down though, right? So with warm up and cool down, about an hour, 8 miles. You know, that's not normally a workout you necessarily need fuel for, but one of the things, especially with kind of my busy schedule, I'm gonna be going in an office, right? Just wanna make sure that I'm getting the carbohydrates that I need before, during, after workouts, so that I feel fresh, right? So that I can get the work done, because burnout's bad, right? Like, I've gotten sick, had food poisoning like 48 hours ago, right? Lots of things could throw off your training. So doing everything I can to, you know, fuel. And this will just not necessarily fuel the workout itself, but it will help me recover quicker, especially because I do a lift in the afternoon. So there you go. Oh, quick plug for myself, right? I don't do a lot of sponsorships. I don't do a lot of affiliate stuff because I don't like to bombard you guys with ads. You guys already get that, and I want my content to be authentic. There are 2 brands that I do use consistently that I do now have affiliate codes for. Specifically decided to work with them because I already use the stuff. You guys should have already seen it, right, on my stuff. So the first I've talked about, the WOLACO distance tights. I have their 2-in-1 shorts. I have their long distance tights. I'm talking specifically about the distance half tights. These ones are worth it. The other ones, if I'm being honest, it's iffy, right? The long tights and the 2-in-1 shorts, they're good, but are they that much better than everything else at the price point? That is TBD. I mean, I do like the storage on the full tight, the full distance tight, but frankly, they don't compress and they don't stay up as good as the half tights. And when I say half tights, my favorite is specifically the, is it the 8-inch? I think it's the 8-inch. Their 8-inch fits like a 5 to 6-inch, right? Just, that's how it fits. The 6-inch fits like a 3 to 4-inch. Just be aware of that. If you want to try anything on WOLACO, RADDAD20, all caps, get you 20% off. And it does provide me a small commission. The other one is I just started working with Fuel Goods. Fuelgoods.com. They are a website that basically carries a bunch of running fuel, right? Pre, intra, and post, right? So you can get like creatine, protein, both of which I take. But I think maybe not more important, but just as important, like pre-workout carbs, right? Or intra-workout carbs, as well as gels. So I've been loving Precision. I try and get 80 to 90 grams an hour on my big workouts and my races, right? So I really like Precision because even their normal gels are 30 grams and they digest super easily. I like the taste. 90-gram pouches, super nice, right? You don't have to carry multiple. You can just carry, or you don't have to carry like 7 gels. You can carry like 2 of these pouches. Got a rooster. So anyway, Fuel Goods. In my bio, I'll put the link in the description. There's my landing page, which shows my favorites from Fuel Goods. And I have to double check what my code is. I'll put it in the description as well. But again, no pressure. But if you're gonna buy fuel, if you're gonna buy some half tights, I'd appreciate the support so I can continue to grow this channel and keep it as ad-free as possible, right? Just kind of use the brands that I use and love. So appreciate you guys. So this is the office gym. It's pretty sick. I came a little after lunchtime because I just ate during a meeting and it's pretty empty. So just getting a quick lift in. Got about 10 more minutes left, then we'll get back to work. But first day in the office has been busy, a little bit stressful, but we're doing good.
All right, it is Wednesday morning. I am about to go for my run, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really, really tired. I think, you know, it's been a couple of weeks since I got like a good full week of both runs and lifts in. Even after base building for, you know, 10, 11 weeks, had 2 just rough weeks overall, and especially when it comes to the lifting. So it's like when I'm not feeling well or when I'm on vacation, whatever it is, like the lifting's the first thing to go because I prioritize getting in the miles. And, you know, so the lifting has taken a backseat and really hasn't been consistent for the last 3 weeks, I would say. So yesterday I went and did kind of some normal lifts and whatnot in the afternoon, and my legs are just fried. So after a hard run and lift yesterday, my legs are destroyed. And then that paired with, I think, just like the stress of being in office for the first time in a really long time, in, you know, 5 years, really, over 5 years, just kind of threw me off. So today's a work from home day. I'll be back in office tomorrow again, but I'm going to take advantage and just get a run on the treadmill, actually, because that is what sounds most manageable today, because I'm just exhausted.
Here we go. Just finished up 7.5, 7.75 miles. Easy. Feel like garbage. Yeah, I think just we'll get back to it, but yeah, the body is just taking a beating the last few weeks. And it's not like a lack of rest. It's just, I think, just an unlucky streak, and that's okay. We're gonna get back on it. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna run easy again tomorrow, and I might hit some trail before going into the office, so it's gonna be good. But let's talk about the Neo Vista 2. So first thoughts on the shoe. So I was one of the few people who didn't love the Neo Vista 1, right? I absolutely love the Neo Zen. I get what Mizuno was trying to do with the Neo Vista 1. Also, before anyone comments, Mizuno is how you say it in Japanese. I am from Japan. I'm half Japanese. I was born there, lived in Japan for like 10 years. So Mizuno is actually how you pronounce it. Mizuno is like the Americanized version of it, which is fine. It's not inherently wrong. It's just Mizuno would be more correct based off of Japan, right? Anyways, so Neo Vista 2. They've done a couple of different things. So what did I not like about the one? Let's talk about that. For one, I felt like the upper didn't have great lockdown. It was kind of baggy. It's pretty much the same upper as the one. So the upper itself kind of, it's not quite as good as the Neo Zen. I love the Neo Zen, but it is maybe a little bit better than the Neo Vista 1. I need to take a look at the shoes side by side and see what they improved, but it does feel like maybe it's a little bit less elastic. So it's still booty style mid upper, but less elastic, which means you get a little bit better lockdown. That being said, like the Neo Zen, it is very high volume, right? So both in length and in just overall like additional fabric, high volume. Now, the fit is still pretty overall like narrow through that midfoot. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not sure. I have to put it on. It might be a little bit more friendly. But where I felt like the Neo Vista 1 was narrow or unstable or just kind of struggled was there was this big kind of not cutout but wedge in between the midsole, right, on the medial side, so on like where on the inside of your foot. So what would happen is you had, you know, not a lot of support underfoot, and then that foam would collapse, and so you would really roll in. So I found the Neo Vista 1 to be really unstable, and frankly I just didn't feel like the foam in the one was giving me the bounce that I wanted, right? So
you know, it's funny, Mizuno kind of advertises this shoe as a plated daily trainer, right? Like a legitimate daily trainer with a fiberglass plate. So not as rigid or firm as a carbon fiber plate. So they're saying, hey, you can still use it for like daily runs. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think anytime you have a full length plate, even if it's not carbon fiber, if we're talking like nylon, we're talking fiberglass, we're talking plastic, P-backs, any of that, I do think that those still alter your stride and can be a little bit more harsh on your feet. So for that reason, I would say that, you know, maybe you might be able to get away with more usage, like with super shoes, maybe you're only using them 1 to 2 times a week. Maybe you could wear these 3 times a week, right? And it depends on how much you're using carbon fiber plates in addition with that. But for me, I'm still thinking this is more of your like long run workout shoe or your long run shoe with like progression run, tempo paces, kind of those moderate paces. I still feel like that's where this shoe fits. And I feel like the foam is more oriented towards that in the two. The one I didn't get bounce, the one I didn't get like a snap. The foam feels almost identical, and I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, the same foam to the Neo Zen. At least it might be dual density. I need to get the spec sheet, but at least one of the foams is the same foam as the Neo Zen. So that's going to be the supercritical, I believe, TPU. So you get that very bouncy feeling. I do believe it's slightly higher stack, and then you do have a fiberglass plate, so you're getting a little bit of pop, right? A little bit of pop. So I tested them out on an easy run today because I wanted to see, okay, how harsh are they on the feet? And to Mizuno's credit, I didn't feel like they felt like super plated. I did some strides at the end, and that bounce and responsiveness of the foam really shined through. It was just on the treadmill because my legs are trash, so obviously we'll get more miles in these on the pavement later this week. But I see it. I really like the shoe. I would have half sized down. So if you are watching this and you're looking to buy them, half size down. They do run very long. But all in all, I think this is a huge improvement over the one.
It's Thursday morning. It's about 6:20, and my legs are still really beat up. But it is what it is. It's another easy run day, so get one more day of kind of recovery, and then we'll try and hit a track session tomorrow. We're running a little bit later than I wanted, which is fine. It's just I have to go in the office today. So I maybe only have about like 70 minutes. So depending on how fast we go, because the legs are moving slow as hell right now, I might end up just running like 6 miles, and then maybe doing like an additional 3 easy at the work gym. I like that idea anyway, just to kind of split up my day. So we'll see. I'll probably bring shoes and clothes with me. Might as well. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at today. But yeah, finishing out miles in the Hyperion 3 for review. I did about a mile in the Hyperion 2 yesterday, just to kind of confirm some of my feelings about the shoe. Everything I've said so far, absolutely correct. Like the Hyperion 3, a really good shoe. Way more of a daily trainer now than last year. Last year, it was such a nice lightweight trainer. So, you know, it is what it is. They're just different shoes. All right, halfway through the workout. Overall, I feel good. I'm maintaining pace. 400 meter repeats, aiming for about 6 to 6:10. Yeah, about 60 seconds rest. Heart rate's coming down. You know, overall I feel better, but it's clear that, you know, the body's probably not 100% right now, and that's okay. So, testing the New Balance SE Elite V5. A lot more streamlined this year. I like it. I think it's going to be still a fairly stable, fairly accommodating marathon option for a lot of people, but I do feel like it actually has some top end kick and responsiveness this year. So we'll do a first thoughts after, but overall, personally, I like the update. All right, we're on the cool down. Whew, that was hard. I got each rep with the planned rest, within the planned paces, so like executed, but honestly the last 3 reps were brutal and just probably not the effort that I wanted. So, you know, just evaluating the workout, lungs are a little shot, and that's okay. We'll progress. We're coming back. We got a easy long run tomorrow. My next quality workout isn't till Tuesday or Wednesday, so it's all right.
Saturday morning, we're going out for just a 10-mile, like easy to moderate run. Nothing crazy today, no paces, no expectations, just gonna go out and get the miles in. It's like almost 7:30, and yeah, just plan on being out there maybe like 9-minute pace on average. So just finish out the week strong. I kind of moved some stuff around because we got in so late Sunday night that I didn't want to do a speed workout on Monday, and then I wanted to have 2 full easy days in between, so that's where I ended up doing my speed workouts on Tuesday and Friday. So today it's just kind of, you know, I had my speed workout and my lift yesterday, where normally this run would be pretty, like, my body would be pretty wrecked for this run. So again, just no expectation really, but overall it's been a really solid week of running. We should be over 50 miles this week, I think just at around 50 miles, which is really good. That's around where I want to be for 5K training. 60 was great for base building, but as we've added intensity back in, want to kind of reduce that volume a little bit. So anyway, gonna get my pre-workout in, get some sunscreen on, and get out the door.
There are a lot of farms near my house, and for some reason, alpacas, lots of alpacas. All right, just under 9-minute pace for that run, 10 miles. So it was like literally like 1:29:30 or something like that. Overall, you know, every now and then I'm hacking something up. My body, like, I'm not sick, but I just still have a little bit of that residual phlegm in the chest. I think that I'm just hacking up. The body just needs to clear it out, but I feel fine. Transparently, my sleep has been garbage for the last few days, and so I do think, and my HRV is really off, so I do think, I mean, look, there's a couple of factors, right? Like, take everything into account. So one, first week back to full training, right? First week back to 5K training, that's gonna matter. Like 2 full lifts when I've kind of been lax on lifting lately, that's stressing the body. 50 miles after, you know, a 30 and a 30 week because of illness and vacation, that's gonna matter. Like, and then the big one that most people don't factor in, but I think was a big factor for me, was going to office this week, returning to office, which is a big source of stress for me. If this is the first video you've ever seen of me, surprise, but welcome. But so I've worked from home, like at home, for the last 5 years. And this week, my job decided to do a return to office hybrid policy. So I'm in office now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, right? So and that's really stressful for me. Suffer from anxiety. I get sick really easily. So being around other people, being in an office, right? It's not so much being in the office, because I do like socializing. It's more so being away from my family, like physically removed from my family. I suffer from OCD, like mild OCD. And so I struggle with, like, everyone has invasive thoughts. For me, right, for those of you, everyone thinks OCD is like, oh, turn off, on and off the lights, on and off the lights, on and off the lights, because you didn't quite do it right and you're obsessed, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder. What it can also be, and how it manifests in me, and the rationale behind the light switch for people, right, is their mind makes these weird connections. Like, oh, when I turned that light on, it made a clicking noise, which for some reason made me think that it was like lighting a fire. And so if I don't correct that, my house is going to catch on fire because of a spark in that switch, which will burn my house down and murder my family. Like, that's the weird mental thing, and you get caught in a loop, and your mind can't escape it. Similarly, like, oh, you drive into work and you hit a speed bump and you think, oh shoot, did I hit somebody? And so you go and you redo the route and you hit the same speed bump, and it reinforces, shoot, I hit somebody. So you do the same route until you can break that thing, until you can break that association. So mine is mild, incredibly mild, but my brain will say something like, oh, your wife should have texted you at this point, your family's dead. Like, legit, like, it, like, not straight to that conclusion, but it's like, normally she would be at this place. Hey, I look up her location on my phone and it's not updating. So her phone was smashed or thrown out on the side of the highway and she's in a gutter. Like, that's where my mind goes. So being physically near my wife, right, physically near my children, right, gives me that peace of mind. And I understand that's unhealthy. Please don't lecture me. I understand that's unhealthy. And you know, how you fix that is you expose yourself to extreme situations. So in some ways, I will admit, working from home probably made my OCD worse, right? Because I had the comforts. But it also made my overall mental health and like stress levels better. So that's one of the big things. The other thing is just the convenience of, you know, commuting versus not commuting. I'm losing about an hour a day now, where that hour was spent with my children. Nowadays, you know, it's an hour that I don't get to spend with my kids. That, you know, being as busy as I am, and I know I'm not gonna be, I'm busier than everyone else. No, but I'm busy, right? As are other people, I'm busy. And so an hour extra that I don't get to spend with my children is frustrating. And it, you know, I already struggle with sometimes like the guilt of, could I be a better father if I trained less, right? That kind of thought process. Or should I just throw away the YouTube thing because it's, you know, it's not benefiting my family, even though it's something that I genuinely enjoy and I'm passionate about, right? Like that, I don't know, extra 30 minutes or extra, you know, hour of sleep that I could potentially get because I'm not editing, right? Would that make me a better dad or a better husband, right? Like, I already struggle with those thoughts, and now I'm losing another hour to literally just sitting in a car, which pisses me off. So first world problems. I'm well aware that I like my job. I'm very blessed to like my job right now, because most of my jobs, if I'm being transparent, I haven't loved all the time, right? I've got a good company I'm working at now, and so I'm grateful for that. But that's where there's a lot of stress compounding this week. So, you know, I need to make sure I get some good rest this weekend, because stress is stress, right? Whether it's from working out or from just other external factors. So anyway, I'm gonna hit some strides, get a few clips for the vlog, and but there's my mileage, right? Today's run was like just an hour and a half, so I think probably 8 hours and 15 minutes of running, 10 plus total hours of working out, including lifting, and my guess is I'm like 50 on the dot, like 50 point something miles for the week. So overall, strong week. I'm happy with it. Most of my paces were pretty good early in the week. I was still dealing with some recovery to the respiratory system. So I'm expecting next week to be a lot better, honestly, but overall felt good today. So there we go. Have a great week at this point, everybody. We'll see you.